Well, there you have it. Now, the week that was a very busy week with social media. Fees Must Fall continues to dominate the chats, and we can report this morning that protesting students have gathered in the front of the Great Hall, and you've seen them marching through the university there, threatening to shut down all academic activities, while a strong police contingent has been deployed on main campus. There you see some of the live pictures coming through with some of the students on campus there marching through, and the classes were set to resume today, as you can recall. And on the international front, the death toll currently sits at over 1,000 in Haiti. Now, to discuss these and other top stories of social media, we are joined in studio by the Managing Director of Roy Africa, Tonya Khoury. Tonya, very good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, Alvis. Happy Monday.
Well, happy Monday, but not so happy for the students at Wits. They're not very happy. They're continuing to protest there. And what does the number say to us?
It's extraordinary, doubled in the past week. You know, last week it was by far the biggest story. I think we had 50% of our charts flooded with Fees Must Fall. This week, 75%. But what's interesting is the volume of coverage. Over 500,000 unique items in any one day about the Fees Must Fall campaign. I think you can see that on the chart. There's nothing else to be said in social media.
500,000 items. This, just break that down for me that is not so social media orientated.
So we don't count anything that you retweet or anything that's quoted. We count what is a unique sentiment. So a unique tweet where you wrote it yourself, or a Facebook post that's been put onto a public platform, or a blog or anything like that. That's what we include in these statistics. We can include retweets, but I think you'd have nothing else on the charts.
So that number, is that number correct? 74.5%.
Yes, of our social media over a 7-day period. But what's interesting is what other stories were on the charts. I mean, we had the Proteas give their best performance in recorded history, I think. Yes. I don't know a lot about cricket, but I certainly know my peers were very excited. And they came in at 2.31%.
I tell you.
And the social media was ablaze at the time, but it just was swamped by Fees Must Fall. Same for the Springboks' dismal performance. Also 0.44% there, so absolutely nothing. And then if you go more to the top of the chart, you'll see Hlaudi Motsoeneng was a very big story. I think he was a good third of our social media conversation, dropped down to 5% over a 7-day period.
So, yeah, all about
nothing else
fees
to talk about.
And sport, really. And idols also coming in at 4.27%. I wonder what's happening there.
You and me both.
Well, we see that Danny Jordaaan's resignation did not make large media coverage over the 7-day period. Where is he? 0.0%.
Danny Jordaan, very small, but also very small in news media, which is unusual, because you'd expect a balanced set of reporting from the journalists. And Danny Jordaaan's story lasted one day and it was gone. And any other week that would have been a big story. Another one that didn't make a big impact was Waiti Bason's 100 million rand paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, it made news for a day and then disappeared, 0.63%. The fact that we're looking at upping the drinking age to 21, 0.21%. Surely the students should have had something to say about that, but they didn't.
Well, they're not interested because they're not going to talk about lowering that or hiring that standard to, or the age to 21. They want to keep on drinking now.
Yes.
So not much there. Let's move on to the international front. Hurricane Matthew is bigger both than Hillary and Donald combined, it seems like.
Yes, this was, those statistics were taken yesterday. This is 54% of our international news media from across 100 countries. I've seen a couple of comments, specifically in social media, that people aren't paying attention to what's happened in Haiti. And perhaps that's the perspective if you're sitting within the US borders. But outside, we certainly are paying attention. Yes. The images are all across our social media timelines and certainly on our news timelines.
And there it speaks for itself, 54%.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. You know, we had the debate last night between Clinton and Trump. So those statistics on the top right of the screen are bound to change by this afternoon. But even they didn't come close to comparing to Hurricane Matthew.
Well, Donald saying what he did about women, I thought it might be bigger than that.
I did too. I certainly did.
But it does show you that the human interest story is much more important.
Yes.
And a couple of people have tweeted earlier on that Hurricane Matthew is not making any news, but certainly you can see here that it does. Hey?
Absolutely. The death toll, the pictures coming out of there are horrific.
What else was there that made news here? There's nothing else really that stood out besides those three, hey?
Yeah, we had the Kardashians coming in at 3.76%. I believe Kim Kardashian is removing herself from the public life. Can't imagine that's true, but anyway, that's what the headlines are saying.
Well, that'll be the day. She'll probably die of boredom the first day if she does that.
So apart from that robbery, that was very big entry. CITES COP17 right at the top of the chart, 1.32%. This morning I've added to that statistic the Nobel Peace Prize. It's also roughly the same, about 1.4% of our news reporting. So not big stories in comparison to everything else on the chart.
Tonya, as usual, thank you so much for updating us on the social media spectrum and what's happening.
You're so welcome.
That's Tonya Corey, letting us know what's happening. So you can be updated on the stories. Remember what we said earlier, very interesting take. A lot of people tweeted earlier on that there's not much coverage about Haiti and the presence in Haiti. But see what the numbers say. They don't lie. They tell you that there's a lot of coverage outside of the US, perhaps, but inside not. Let's move on.